Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor, helping you realize your dreams of owning a home or investing in one. Okay, today I want to talk about the game Monopoly. It's a game that many families play, especially during the holidays. In the winter months when you got to stay inside, things like that. But there's also tournaments that pay people a lot of money. Sometimes they only get a gift card. It really depends on the tournament that they sign up for. And then you also have some tournaments that will give away free stuff like free vacation or what have you. So it's a very popular game worldwide, and it has been for a while. Let me just talk to you guys about the history of the game and give you some points on how to win. Okay, so the game was actually created by Elizabeth McGee in Illinois. She was a women's rights activist and an economic reformist. Later on, as time went on, the game, which was originally dubbed the landlord game, she basically made that to show some cons in our capitalist system. Okay, but later Charles Darrow, he took it, sold it to Parker Brothers, and it was later remodeled after the streets in Atlantic City, and this is the game as we know it today. The game, yes, it's similar to real life, but of course there are some slight differences. All right, normally when I play, for some reason I go to jail more often than I do in real life. In real life, I actually never been to jail. I know others that have been, but and I have definitely been tempted, but it has never happened. Believe it or not, though, with the statistics of the game show that most people do land in jail. Most people do not go through the entire game without landing in jail at least once. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, now the other statistic that was pretty common is the roll of the dice. Okay, and the numbers that people normally land on are 6, 7, and 8. I wish life was like that to a certain degree as far as rolling of the dice, but no, a lot of times it's hard work, and it's also who you know, and sometimes who you know is actually more important than what you know as far as getting you to that next level. Okay, the next thing is that people land on red and orange places more than they do any of the other colors that's on the board. Now, if you compare that to Atlantic City itself, you will find that those streets that are marked red and orange are typically where you have the working poor and you have working class areas. So, very similar to real life to a certain degree. And then, of course, Park Place and Boardwalk, those are the highest priced on the board. And if you go in real life, you'll basically see that this is where the casinos are. Boardwalk anyway. Park Place, there used to be a little park there. Now it's really just a lawn. To be honest with you, it's not really much of a park. And statistically, it's not where most people land anyway throughout the entire game. Okay, so, and it in real life, it's not really where most people hang out when they go to Atlantic City. Okay, so that's another contrast for you. Now, as far as winning the game, the statistics show that you have to own real estate. 3 houses, as a matter of fact, will get you the start. And often that is the person who will win the game, the one that has at least 3 houses. Selling houses on the board game gets you a 50% return. I will tell you that that does not always happen in real life. It happens sometimes, but it doesn't always happen because a lot of things depend on the market. It depends also on how much you paid for the property, how much renovations you put into the property, the property's condition when you sell it, and also the property's demand. All of that will determine, how much of a return you're going to get. Atlantic City right now is, I wouldn't say it's as hot as it was before, especially, I would say more so before Hurricane Sandy. And then COVID-19 did close up a lot of businesses down there. So it's not really popping as much, but I think it is going to recover. And I do see things turning around and coming back up for them. I don't know if it's going to be to the level and to the success as it was before all of these catastrophes, but I do see a turnaround. Especially, my hope is also because of there was a time when they didn't even have a train that went down there, and now they do. They've had the train for a while now. I still take the bus when I go. I believe also if they make certain changes, for example, the train, if they make the train go and leave directly from New York City, it will definitely pick up much faster and much quicker. Also, if they can, I'm not sure if the port is able to hold it, but if they can put more cruise ships that, let's say, go from New York City to Atlantic City, that would definitely be a boost in their income. Or even, I know that there are boats that leave from Philly, but I don't know if there's a cruise ship that leaves from Philly and goes to Atlantic City. But I do know that there is a train that goes from Philly to Atlantic City. So if they make those changes, then yeah, the city itself will see a turnaround. But anyway, getting back to the game. The last point that I wanted to drive home about this game is this. The person who normally wins Monopoly, besides the person who owns the 3 houses, is the person that's the banker. And in real life, that is true. The majority of the time, the bank is the one that always wins. And that's one of the reasons why I invest in mortgage notes, because as a mortgage note investor, you are the bank. You get to charge fees. You get to collect the mortgages on the first of the month, typically. And if anything happens, you get to assist the homeowner with staying in their homes, and you can introduce them to whatever grants or government programs are out there. You can do loan modifications in case they lose their job and get another job, but it pays less money. You can just, redo their loan. And of course, if they don't cooperate or if something else happens, then you get to foreclose and you get to take that home, and that home becomes yours. So it doesn't always work out, but for the most part,